Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the big question. Would I buy the 2023 Chevy Colorado Trail Boss for a second time? Would I buy this truck again after owning it for about 24,000 miles? Let's talk about it. So after putting the 23 Chevy Colorado Trail Boss through its paces from daily driving to off-roading to overlanding, getting it all set up the way I want to, I think I've got some solid thoughts on would I buy this specific model again. Y'all, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about the 23 Chevy Colorado Trail Boss that I have here, how it's set up, would I buy it again, and you may see some videos pop up on the screen. I'm gonna put some of my off-road videos out here just to show you where we've been. We've brought it through summer, winter, snow, camping, you name it. This Chevy has done it and been there. So let's get to it. All right, so for those considering on buying a Colorado Trail Boss and not going for any other model, but we're going to talk about the Trail Boss specifically. Let's talk about first our off-road capability. So the Trail Boss here comes standard with a 2-inch lift from the factory. You got the skid plates for a couple things underneath, and I'll put that in the description. And then of course the G80 rear locker. Now the G80 rear locker is an automatic locking rear differential. It's different than a limited slip, whereas limited slips lock and then they release essentially. This G80 actually stays locked until you're releasing the pedal. So at about 100 RPM, this locks in, and I will again, I'll put the exactness in the description here, but just so you know, the G80 is different than a standard POSI slip rear differential. It's not the same, okay? So going from there, we got the 2.7 liter high output engine in here. This is the L3B. This one, the years for the 23, however, did not come with the high output. So the 23s actually came with the downgraded version. All the 24 and up Colorado Trail Bosses now come with the same engine the Zr2 has. Sorry, same engine, different software update. 310 foot-pounds of torque, 430. This, however, I had to go and pay separately to get it tuned to the Zr2. But let's talk about the L3B a second. Don't mind my engine bay, it is a little dirty. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a good look at it. So with that being said, it's pretty torquey for a 4-cylinder when you get in it. Of course, this does not come with these 35-inch tires. These, I believe they were standard 265. The 265-inch tires that came on this. I could be wrong, y'all can correct me in the comments. It easily tows and hauls without feeling sluggish. I've towed a couple toy haulers, and then of course when we moved, I towed with this, and it was a great blend of fuel economy. So it used to get good gas mileage for a 4-cylinder. It does not, since I've changed the tires, added the mods, added a ton of weight to the vehicle, and now I'm getting about 15 in the city, 14 sometimes because of the stop and go traffic here in Virginia Beach. But it used to get about 20-25, and that was before all the mods. So if you do mod it, just know you're going to be sacrificing some of those gas mileage. So this is that L3B. I'll put a little more information on the screen here so you guys can check it out. This is a good engine and has been tested. It has been around for a while. It's got, I believe it was it's forged bottom end on here, and it was derived from the diesel engine, and so it is, you know, a pretty robustly built engine. However, you know, quality control issues are what they are, and not everyone came out of the factory running great. This one has 23, almost 24,000 miles on it and is still running strong. Let's take a look at the interior. So guys, this is the Trail Boss. It is nothing too crazy. It is simple. Without having these seat covers on, y'all, these are just your cloth Chevy seats, okay? So like this, I added this aux beam here. We've got the knob sight lights here. I added the bullet point up here, and other than that, y'all, this is a very basic, very standard, no fancy bells and whistles type of truck. And that is also, you know, what might be saving you some money if that's kind of what you're looking at. I definitely, I'm going to be getting some new seat protectors here, you know, but that's just something that we put on there. And of course, you know, we put these on here because the dog slobbers when she's in there, so that just protects the door, you know, protects the value of it. But yeah, very basic interior, nothing too fancy, no heated cooled seats or anything like that. The one perk that kind of sold me right away, sorry moving it so much, with the screen was that 11.3 inch touchscreen. Super awesome. However, it does not give you the 24 and up display on your dash, you know, where your cluster gauge is. So Chevy actually modified it, so almost like the Zr2, the 24 and up Colorado Trail Bosses actually get the upgraded screen. So that's pretty sweet. Let's talk about looks and stance. I think Chevy absolutely nailed the look of the Colorado Trail Boss. I mean, the 3rd gen in general, I think just looks awesome. So we've got aggressive styling, wide fender flares, we've got blacked out accents that I actually blacked out. You can get the accent package if you want to pay the extra money, or use some Plasti Dip like I did. And I think all of that gives it a super aggressive style. And of course, the Trail Boss badge actually means it's not just a sticker. So we actually use this on the trail. That is what this truck was marketed for. It should be out of the box ready to hit the trail with the lift, with those all-terrain tires that it comes from the factory, with the G80 locker. And now it has the high output engine, 310 horsepower, 430 torque, and you are just ready to go and own the trails as a Trail Boss should. Obviously, there are differences from the Trail Boss to the Zr2, but you're buying the Trail Boss to save that extra 10 grand. It's about a $10,000 difference. Maybe so, it's not as much now, but I think you're still getting the same, about the same amount, about $10,000 difference from what I see on the market currently. So for all of you who are on the fence about getting the Chevy Colorado Trail Boss here, just think about it. You can do a lot with about $10,000 extra. So I'm gonna just kind of leave it at that. And we're gonna talk about a couple cons and if I would actually purchase this truck again. Let me slip underneath the truck real quick so I can show you about the skid plates. Nothing too crazy. You're gonna get your transmission skid plate, and if you can see up there, you got a front diff skid plate. Other than that, y'all, that's about it. That's all the skid plates you get, and you'd have to go to the Zr2 to get anything more. And the very front is actually plastic. So you can see here, this is plastic. However, this one is not, that protects that diff. However, it is nice if they would provide an actual, if they actually gave us a metal one here. And I will say as well that Chevy, gosh, they burned so many bridges with this one with putting these crappy halogen lights in the Trail Boss at this price point. If you're paying $40,000 for a truck, why does it not come with LED lighting? I think that's a lot of people's gripes. I think people are like, well, you can change them out. It's not the same. Projection LEDs are different than getting halogen lights and then putting LED bulbs in. It is different. They operate different. They use different energies, and it's just different, you know. You can tell that those lights aren't supposed to be in there, or not that they're not supposed to be in there, but you know, I would prefer to have some projection LEDs that were built for the truck, just like the Z71 and the Zr2. You know, why on the Trail Boss model that you're supposed to be out of the package ready to go on the trail, why did they skimp out on the lights? And not even to mention, even if you get the Zr2, y'all, you don't even get LED tail lights. So for $51,000, $52,000, $53,000, you still get halogen tail lights, and you get a halogen third brake light as well, with the rear light that you can turn on here, the cargo lights. It is all halogen, even on the Zr2. Unless they change it for the 25 model, pretty sure it's all the same, and I think that is a huge failure, and the Chevy cheaped out on putting actual LEDs around. So their competition, like the Ford Ranger, gosh, what else? Maybe for trucks, maybe the Nissan Pro 4X, but I don't really know who buys a Nissan anymore. So the Ford Ranger, you know, has full LED packages at a similar price point. So, you know, why doesn't Chevy? Alright guys, so all in all, after everything we've been through, after all the overlanding, daily driving, off-roading, would I buy the Trail Boss again? Yes, 100% yes, I would definitely buy it again. The question is, now, coming later, would I buy it again with the availability of the Zr2? And that one I'm really 50-50. I want to say I would just probably spend the extra 10 grand, get it because I like the suspension, I like the setup, I like the bells and whistles. Even though I'm really not using it for those bells and whistles, they would still be nice to have as an option. I like the Multimatic suspension that the Zr2 offers, but it was not in production when I bought this truck. So for those of you who are looking for getting on the trails, but not looking for rock crawling, because the Zr2, those selectable lockers are really kind of rock crawling centric, I guess, unless you're doing some really crazy mountain trails where you need those lockers, because the G80, to be honest with you, has got us through literally everything. We have climbed everything, gone over everything, and I don't do mud a lot, and I try not to do water fording a lot, because that's how you get in trouble with your vehicles. So long story short, I'd buy the Trail Boss again. If I had the option, I think I would just select and I would bump up to the Zr2, not the AEV Bison version or anything, just a regular Zr2, because you know we're always going to mod our vehicles. So if you own a Trail Boss and you have a question about this, what I've done, drop a comment below. Please like, subscribe to the channel. We are quite far away from any trails currently, so you haven't seen a whole lot of trail videos yet of us. We try to do once a month, but you know, with all of us working, me and the wife and the baby might go up again here shortly, but we're about 4 hours from the trails, but we're gonna see if we can hit some local trails here from our guys at Weird Wheel. They got some really cool local trails we'll be hitting. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was gave you some insight. At the end of the day, I really would like a Zr2. The way I have it set up right now though, I have no complaints. If you have a paid off truck, you know, maybe it's not worth going to getting a new car note so, or convincing the wife that I should get a Zr2, or maybe I need to upgrade to a bigger Zr2 because, you know, the baby, the dog, the Colorado, you know, this one's actually a larger mid-sized truck than most of them, you know, if y'all didn't know. You ever try to sit in the back seat of a Tacoma? It's like non-existent. There's like, I'm only 5'7", 175. I can barely sit in the back of a Tacoma. Here I actually have a lot of room if y'all are looking for like room space and stuff. So if you're like 6 feet tall, it might be a little tight for you, but all in all, this is probably the largest mid-sized truck out of the entire segment. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope this was insightful, and drop your comments below. I'd love to hear what you got to say.